Um, I could be mad. I could get down, but surprisingly, I'm all right with this. What's good, everybody? This is Polo J within the red corner, the sports corner, whatever you want to call it. But today was a strange day for some football. It was a lot of strange things, but I can say it was a lot of hard fought games, a lot of them. And I'm not upset. As you all should know by now, the final score was 35-36, something like that. Baltimore Ravens won over the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's okay. I'm actually not upset. The Cowboys won. Congratulations. Y'all beat the Chargers. That was a good game for y'all. Like I said, there was a lot of good games to where if you're a true football fan, you can't be disappointed with the outcomes because the football gods blessed us with several good games, except for the Miami game. If you're a Miami Dolphins fan, I would be pissed. I'm not even going to lie to you. I would be pissed. But other than that, it was a great day of football. Oh, my God. We lost, but cool. All right, cool. A lot of teams lost today. A lot of good teams lost today. That's the killing thing about it and the surprising thing. A lot of good teams lost today, but the fan bases shouldn't be upset. You know, I can say that with the Chiefs, I'm a little disappointed in the defensive performance. You know, we have a defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo. He's been around in the league for a little while. He's been a journeyman, defensive coordinator, head coach, whatever you want to call him. But, you know, it comes a time where you got to hang them up, especially when, you know, the players and everything like that aren't responding to you anymore. And I think that's what happened in this game, the Baltimore Ravens game. I think that's what happened. You know, the game came down to the wire. I mean, like I said before, true football fans love this type of stuff. I loved it. I was so invested. And I could make a bunch of overreactions and this and that, but I'm not. I'm not, because I had a good time today. I had a real good time today. Who would have thought? Like, seriously, who would have thought that the Carolina Panthers were going to beat the New Orleans Saints? Like, seriously, who would have thought the Chicago Bears was going to beat the Cincinnati Bengals? Like, who would have thought that the Texans would have made it a game against the goddamn Cleveland Browns? Who would have thought the Colts would have been into a nail-biter with the LA Rams? Like, seriously, who would have thought that the San Francisco 49ers would have been given all they could handle against the dang Philadelphia Eagles? The Jaguars made it a game against the dang Denver Broncos. And did y'all catch, I mean, seriously, did y'all catch the Vikings versus Cardinals game? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Look at some of the highlights from that game. That was it. That was a good game. Any given Sunday, like them. Yes, it was. Look at what's good, Trap House. What's good? Hey, man, the Atlanta Falcons. Hey, y'all have a team. Y'all just need better direction. Y'all need better coaching. Because I think if things would have went, if y'all would have had 2 extra possessions or some different things happening, y'all could have beat the Buccaneers. Y'all really could have beat the Buccaneers tonight. Seattle Seahawks and the Tennessee Titans. That was a good game. It was, like I said, this Sunday has to be the best Sunday of football that I've seen in a long time. A long time. And it just makes me excited for next week. Week 3. What is week 3 going to have to offer? Here's some of the games that's happening in week 3. Starting off with the Panthers versus the Texans. Is anybody going, from what we've seen, is anybody going to be disappointed with that game? Then the Chiefs Chargers, AFC West, that's going to be a good game now. The Bengals and the Steelers. I think this is the year the Bengals might actually make the wild card. They looked good. It took Justin Fields to come into the game for Chicago to win. The Bills versus the Washington Redskins. The way Tyler Heineke is flinging that ball around, the way Washington defense is, but the way Josh Allen is doing his thing, man, that's going to be a good game. The Browns versus the Bears. That's going to be a toss-up. I'm not even going to lie to you, because if Justin Fields completely starts this game, the Bears are going to win. They're going to beat the Browns. The Ravens versus the Lions. That could be a good game. All these can be good games. The Colts versus the Titans. I'm excited for next week now. The NFL, Roger Goodell, the officiating corps, everybody put on a complete show today. Shout out to all the winners and all the losers. Hey, I'm with it. I'm with it. Atlanta's going to get a win next week. They playing the Giants. I guarantee the Falcons will beat the Giants. I know the Falcons will beat the Giants. And then you got the Jags versus Cardinals. That might be a blowout. The Jets is going to play against the Broncos. I don't know how that one's going to go. That might be a toss-up. The Dolphins is going to face the Raiders. I don't know about that one. I don't see Miami getting embarrassed 2 weeks in a row. I don't see that. Now, here's the real game. This is the game of the week. I don't know what anybody is doing. I don't know why this is not a primetime game. The Rams versus the Buccaneers. The Rams actually have a quarterback now, and Matt Stafford. They ain't got Jared Goff no more. They got somebody who can fling it deep, fling it short, tight windows, whatever you want. Matt Stafford can do that. And then on the other side, you got that defense. Hell, both teams have a defense. Do you think Tom Brady's really going to throw in Jalen Ramsey's his side of the field, his area? I think not. I don't think so. Could you imagine that? Aaron Donald just rushing up the center, knocking everybody on their ass to get to Tom Brady. That's going to be that. That should be the Sunday night game. They should move that game to Sunday night. And then you got an old school matchup between the Packers and the 49ers. Football, baby. Football. And then the Monday night game is going to be the Eagles and the Cowboys. I mean, shit. I'm ecstatic. I'm stoked. I'm all of the above, man. What can I say? This is shit. Good week for football. Now, there's some things that I didn't like about this week. There was a lot of phantom calls this week. From all the games that I was able to check out, there was a lot of phantom calls, a lot of calls that were made that shouldn't have been called. There was a couple in the Raiders game. There was a couple in the Chargers game. I seen some tonight in the Chiefs versus Ravens. I seen some in the Rams versus Colts. There was a lot of questionable calls. I know that's part of the territory, but should that even be the case? Like, in some instances, should you have to play the team that you're going against and the officials? That's kind of an uphill battle. But for majority of the time, they stayed out the way. But not really, not really. What else can I say about today? I'm only excited. Now I want to see how college football is going to top it, because there's some big games coming up for college football in this weekend. Georgia's playing, Alabama's playing, LSU playing. I think it's this weekend is going to be LSU versus Auburn. Let me check and see. Let me see. It might be. I know Arkansas is playing Texas A&M. That's going to be a good one. Notre Dame versus Wisconsin. No, it's not this week, but whatever. Anybody want to hop in on this? Because I got time. We can talk about it. Let's talk about Russell Wilson. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about, god dang, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry showed his ass today. Yes, he did. King Henry made an appearance. What else is going on? Who else showed their ass today? Kyler Murray showed his ass today. Sam Darnold showed his ass today. I'm starting to think that the problem wasn't Sam Darnold. The problem was the Jets. That goes back to something I've said before. Sometimes these players aren't bust. Sometimes these players aren't bad players. Sometimes they're just drafted to bad teams and expected to fix the team overnight with bad leadership and bad management. Because for the past 2 weeks, Sam Darnold has looked like a world beater. What's good, Rob? You want to hop in on here? Anybody want to hop in on here? Let's talk some football, y'all. Everybody's excited about it. Let's talk some football. I like this. Let's see. Nick Chubb. Now, I did a video over fantasy football earlier today. I think it was either today or yesterday about who you should pick. And I said, pick up and start Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Oh, Dak had a good game. Dak had a good game. That was that goes back to what I was saying. Just a Sunday full of good games. Dak versus Herbert. That was a shootout to the end. To the end, it was a good game. Even though it was like a Cowboys home game, because there was more Cowboys fans than there was Chargers fans. But that's something that the Chargers is going to have to deal with. Don't even know. All right, let me give you the scores. The Raiders beat the Steelers 26-17. The Cowboys beat the Chargers 20-17. You've seen the Ravens game, so I don't even need to bring that to you. The Bengals lost to the Bears 20-17. The Browns beat the Texans 31-21. The Colts lost to the Rams 27-24. The Bills blew out the Dolphins 35-0. Patriots beat the hell out of the Jets 25-6. 49ers won 17-11. The Saints lost 26-7. The Broncos won 23-13. Cardinals came back and won. They were down 21-0 at one time, man, and won the game 34-33. The Buccaneers beat the Falcons. Now, the score of this game does not reflect this game. It really does not, in my opinion. 48-25. Tennessee won 33-30. That was the scores for today. And a lot of the scores, look, Tennessee, as long as they can keep giving Derrick Henry the ball and keep the ball out of Ryan Tannehill's hands, they're going to go places. Buccaneers, yeah, the score says 48-25, but they look vulnerable. They look really vulnerable. I mean, but the same can be said about the Chiefs. I mean, we looked vulnerable on the defensive end. I think both of our defenses are those type of defenses that start to get stronger as the year goes on. You know what I'm saying? So I want to say by week 7, week 8, week 9, that's when, a lot of these championship caliber teams, their defenses are going to start taking off. Because you got to remember, in the NFL, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. You don't want to catch a team that's won, since the 17 weeks, won 6-7 games in a row headed into the playoffs. You don't want that. You don't want that. You want to catch these teams early. And I think that's what happened with Baltimore. They just caught us early. Like last week with the Browns. I wasn't going to be disappointed if we lost this game. I mean, sure, people are going to make some overreactions. There's going to be a lot of overreactions saying, oh, my God, this is going to hurt y'all when it comes to playoff seeding. I hear you. I hear you. I do. But this is just my opinion. I think it only hurts you if you're not the 1 or the 2 seed, or even this year, the 3 seed. I think it hurts you then. Other than that, you good. I'm looking at NFL Network for highlights of all those quarters. Look, it doesn't make any sense, Rob. None of it makes any sense. It's all craziness right now. Look, man. If I could just start this day over, and watch all these games again, I would. I really would. Like I said, I really enjoyed myself. Now, the standout game, like I said, was the Cardinals versus the Vikings. Hold on, y'all. Oh, it was good. Delvin Cook is a beast as far as running back. Adam Thielen is one hell of a wide receiver. I think it's time. I think it's time for us to take, race off of certain things when it comes to being a good athlete. Because Adam Thielen, yes, he may be a wide receiver, but who would not want him on their team right now? He's Jordy Nelson 2.0 to me right now. This dude can ball. He's balling up there in Minnesota with a subpar quarterback. Christian McCaffrey, balling. Who wouldn't want him as their running back right now? I mean, balling. So, yeah, it's time to take that stigma off. It's time to take the stigma off. Like how we want to take the stigma off of the black quarterback. Let's take the stigma off the white running back. Let's take the stigma off the white wide receiver. Because there's some out here who can actually play, man. And it's just not like a possession receiver thing where you just do a 3-yard slant. No, they actually running good routes. Cooper Kupp is another one. Oh my God. Like, does anybody have anything they want to say? Because the invite is open. And yeah, I'm willing to let anybody and everybody on tonight just so they can speak their piece about what they seen and what they learned about either their team or anything. It was a good game. Good games. First off, I want to say thank you to Rob for coming in, Chappelle coming in, Trap coming in. Thank y'all for coming in. If you could, like and share the stream. It helps. Because if we can't help each other, who can we really help out here? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Nobody's coming in. It's 21. Been on here 21 minutes. Let's get into some stats. Let's get into some stats. Because that's what I want to talk next. Far as with people in their fantasy teams. Let's talk some stats. We're going to start with the Raiders. If you started Derek Carr, you're not going to be too disappointed. He was 28 of 37, 382 yards with 2 tubs. That'll get the job done. That will get the job done. If you started Ruggs, you doing really good. He had 5 receptions for 13 yards. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. And let's switch to the Steelers. Now, if you started anybody off the Steelers, I feel bad for you, son. I really do. Because the Steelers, I don't know what I think it's time for the Steelers to move on from Big Ben. I really do. I think it's time for them to move on from Big Ben. If you look at his last 2 performances, like, he's nothing more than a big name game manager. That's what he is right now. I love Big Ben. I do. It's just he ain't cutting it no more, man. He ain't cutting it no more. He's missing wide open receivers. His defense is actually the one that's carrying him. And let's pray for TJ Watt. Man got an injury. I don't know the significance of it right now, but when I get some details on it, I'll be sure to let you guys know. But the Steelers, they're going to be in some trouble. They're going to be in some long-term trouble. Next game, the Cowboys and them dang Chargers. That game, let me tell you about Dak. I think that was the most proficient and efficient game I've ever seen Dak Prescott play in my life. I think it was. If there was an incomplete, it was a throwaway. He picked and chose his spots very good and selectively. He was 23 for 27. That'll win you a game for 237 yards. But he did not have a touchdown. He had an interception. Now, Cowboys fans, it's time to face reality. Ezekiel Elliott is not worth that money. He's not worth that money. If I was y'all, I would be petitioning Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, whoever you can, to try to dump that contract. Try to sell him or something because, 16 carries for 71 yards. I get it. I do. But what y'all need in the backfield is speed. Y'all are not a power team. Y'all a finesse team. Y'all the type of team that wants to spread it out. Spread it out. All that different type of jazz. There should be no reason for the backup running back to have 3 less carries than you and 38 more yards than you. No reason at all for that to happen. Tony Pollard should not have 13 carries for 109 yards, averaging 8.4 yards per attempt. And Ezekiel Elliott has 16 carries for 71. No. That is true. Ezekiel Elliott is not worth that money. He is not. Far as, fourth quarter eating up the clock. Yeah, I'll give it to you. But y'all are not a power team. Y'all are not. Dak wants to spread the ball out, like I said. He wants to spread the ball. He wants to get more than one receiver involved. He wants to get CeeDee Lamb on those deep go routes. He wants to. But the difference that separates Pollard and Elliott, Pollard can catch out the backfield a little bit better. I'm not saying that he is better. I'm saying that he can do this a little bit better than Ezekiel Elliott can. And I'm not saying that he's a better all-around back than Ezekiel Elliott. But there's certain things that you do and you don't pay for. Let's see. I want to add my brother Chappelle to the show. How you doing, Chappelle? How you doing?
All right. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Just talking about your team.
The wrap up, huh?
Yeah, it's the wrap up.
Yeah, that's what you should call the show.
The wrap up. All right, I'll change the name of it. The weekend wrap up.
It's up to you. I'm just up to you, but I don't know. It's like the times when I seen Zeke flourish is when it's when the line was healthy. That line ain't healthy, Polo. I understand what you're saying between the two, between old boy and Zeke, but it's like they got 2 different type of running styles, though.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. One back needs a strong offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
The other, a strong offensive line is just a plus.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference that separates Pollard and Elliott right now. And
Pollard reminds me of a Kamara type of running back.
Yeah.
He's a slasher. You know what I'm saying? So Zeke reminds me of like a power back. Like
Eddie George. Yeah.
Eddie George.
He reminds me of Eddie.
Yeah, like a smaller Eddie George. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true.
See, but with the problems that you guys have on the offensive line side, it actually is more effective to have a Tony Pollard style running back.
Right.
Somebody who can, if you get them in space, they can make something happen compared to you get him in space. He has no choice but to try to go through you. And the way these defenses are playing nowadays, that's not really an option too much anymore.
Okay. I got a question, right? All right. So I think it's the line, and I think it's kind of on Zeke too. I think Zeke got kind of, lazy after he got that money.
Well,
I know it's going to be coming back.
I think scheme is everything. The scheme that you're running. Like
That too.
if you go back to when Dak Prescott was putting up MVP numbers, it was in the read option.
Mm-hmm.
He was running the read option a lot. Even at what was it, Mississippi State? Read option.
Yeah.
Get him in the shotgun position and let him read off of what the mic or the wheel is doing. Let him read off of
it. It's crazy. And it's crazy you bring that Mississippi State up because Zach was in contention for the Heisman, and Mississippi State was like ranked number 1 for like 4 weeks.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. Yeah. When it comes to a quarterback, yes, the quarterback has to conform to the NFL.
Right.
But if you want to win, that team has to conform to the quarterback. That's where I see the disconnect is between Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. You get Dak in a shotgun where he can run the RPO and he can run it effectively. Oh, he cut out. But like I was saying, if you want Dak to be extremely successful in the RPO, you need a speedy back. You don't really need a power back because it's the NFL. Everybody's fast. Everybody's strong. But there's very few people who are extremely fast and extremely strong. That's the thing that separates a lot of these bad teams from the good teams. But, hey, I ain't got nothing else to say on that right now. Now, I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor. Up until you got injured, man, you was balling. You were balling. And I honestly want to say that I feel bad for some of the things that you've went through in your career, man. A lot of the stuff you did not deserve. You did not. But you got injured again. You know the best ability is availability. And if you're not available, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Now, the Browns, on the other hand, you know what they're about. You know exactly what they're about. Limit Baker Mayfield's throws. His stats is going to be kind of inflated because a lot of the passes are going to come on the play action pass because people's going to be stacking the box, worried about Hunt and Chubb. I get it. But, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. But, you know, this is supposed to just be a wrap-up or a review. So, I'm about to get out of here, y'all. This was the Sunday wrap-up. Peace.